Good evening, I'm Roger, and you're watching NFL Trending. Tonight's breaking story centers around one of the biggest quarterback developments in the NFL. Deshaun Watson's long-awaited return timetable has finally been revealed, just as the Cleveland Browns are being linked to a potential blockbuster move involving rookie sensation Shedeur Sanders. This news has sent shockwaves through the league and stirred up intense debate about the Browns' quarterback future and their overall direction this season. For weeks, Browns fans have been anxiously waiting for updates on Deshaun Watson's recovery from his serious shoulder and Achilles injuries that sidelined him for much of last season. Now, team insiders and league reporters suggest Watson's return could be closer than expected, possibly within the next few weeks, though the organization is still cautious about setting an exact date. Reports from Cleveland's medical and coaching staff indicate Watson has made significant progress in his rehab process. He's reportedly resumed throwing drills, light movement workouts, and has shown increased strength in his throwing shoulder. Sources close to the Browns say he's expected to be reevaluated within the next 2 weeks, and if everything goes according to plan, Watson could return to full practice shortly thereafter. But while this is good news for Watson and the Browns' playoff hopes, it also raises a major question. What happens to Shedeur Sanders? Sanders, the former Colorado Buffaloes star and son of NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, entered the league with enormous expectations. Cleveland took a big swing drafting him, seeing him as a possible future franchise quarterback, or at least a key insurance option if Watson's injuries lingered. Early reports out of training camp were mixed. Sanders showed flashes of brilliance with his accuracy and composure, but he's also faced a steep learning curve adjusting to NFL speed and pressure. Now, with Watson's return looming, the Browns appear to be at a crossroads. Multiple league insiders claim Cleveland's front office has begun quietly exploring trade possibilities involving Sanders. A few teams, reportedly the Raiders, Commanders, and Patriots, have been mentioned as potential landing spots. The thinking behind a trade is straightforward. Cleveland has a massive financial commitment to Deshaun Watson, a fully guaranteed contract worth $230 million. If Watson returns healthy and takes command of the offense, there may be little reason to keep a high-profile rookie like Sanders on the bench, especially if the Browns can flip him for valuable assets like a top receiver or defensive playmaker. However, not everyone agrees with that approach. Some analysts warn that trading Sanders too early could be a costly mistake. He represents the future, a young, coachable talent with immense upside. Given Watson's injury history and inconsistent play since arriving in Cleveland, holding on to Sanders could be the team's best long-term insurance policy. Inside sources also note that the Browns' coaching staff is divided on the issue. Offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt reportedly believes Sanders should stay and continue developing behind Watson, while some members of the front office see an opportunity to boost the roster by moving him now while his market value is high. Meanwhile, head coach Kevin Stefanski continues to play things close to the vest. Speaking to reporters earlier this week, Stefanski said, quote, "We're focused on getting Deshaun healthy and ready to go. That's our priority. Shedeur is doing great things in practice, and we're excited about his future." Stefanski's comments, while diplomatic, did little to quiet the speculation. NFL insiders believe the Browns are keeping all options open, and that any final decision may depend heavily on Watson's progress over the next few weeks. If Watson returns and performs at a high level, the Browns could ride that momentum into a playoff run. But if he struggles or suffers another setback, Cleveland may find itself in the same uncertain situation it's faced for the past 2 years, a talented roster held back by instability at the quarterback position. For Shedeur Sanders, this period represents both a challenge and an opportunity. Despite the rumors, he's kept his focus on development, team chemistry, and preparation. According to reports from the Browns' practice facility, Sanders has been working closely with receivers Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore, sharpening timing routes and deep ball accuracy. Coaches have praised his maturity and leadership, noting that he's handled the media attention with composure beyond his years. Sanders himself recently told reporters, quote, "All I can do is control what I can control. I'm learning every day, trying to be ready for whatever comes next. Cleveland's been great, and I'm thankful for the opportunity." Those words reflect a young quarterback who understands the business side of football, but isn't distracted by it. Still, the speculation isn't going away anytime soon. NFL analysts like Colin Cowherd and Ian Rappaport have suggested that a trade involving Sanders would make sense for both sides if Watson proves healthy. Cowherd argued, quote, "If you're Cleveland, you've got to think about roster balance. You've invested everything in Watson. Trading Sanders could bring in real help at receiver or defense, something that helps you win now." Others, however, disagree. Former players turned analysts, including RGI and Shannon Sharpe, have warned the Browns against rushing into a decision. Sharpe said on his show, quote, "You don't trade your insurance policy when your starter's coming off 2 major injuries. Keep the kid. Let him develop. You never know how this season's going to go." That sentiment resonates with many fans who remember the Browns' long history of quarterback instability. From Baker Mayfield to Johnny Manziel to Deshaun Watson, Cleveland's search for consistency under center has been a roller coaster. Losing a promising talent like Sanders could come back to haunt them if Watson doesn't return to form. As it stands, the Browns' plan appears to be to wait and watch. Sources say Watson's next evaluation will be a key moment. If he receives medical clearance to return to full practice and shows no signs of setback, the trade discussions involving Sanders could intensify rapidly. Until then, the Browns remain focused on preparing for their upcoming games, where backup quarterback Dillon Gabriel continues to lead the offense. Gabriel has shown flashes of efficiency, but has struggled with turnovers and red zone consistency, another factor influencing how urgently Cleveland may want Watson back on the field. In the broader context, this situation speaks to how complex the quarterback position has become in today's NFL. Teams are constantly balancing short-term success with long-term development, salary cap implications, and locker room chemistry. For Cleveland, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Watson returns and performs well, the Browns could be legitimate playoff contenders. But if his comeback is slow or rocky, the pressure will mount quickly, and all eyes will turn to Shedeur Sanders, the young quarterback who might just represent the Browns' best hope for the future. For now, it's a waiting game, a tug-of-war between experience and potential, stability and risk, patience and urgency. Deshaun Watson's return could reshape the Browns' entire season. But Shedeur Sanders' fate might determine the team's future for years to come.